Hold fast, sit tight.
We are bringing AI Jazz to Montreux.
Do you know that Montreux Jazz Festival was made by Claude?
AI Jazz is built on theft.
AI is not stealing job from musicians. It's stealing ears of listeners.
Hello, this is AI.LOVE.JAZZ podcast, and I'm Dorota, the director of growth, and I'm going to talk with Alex, the co-founder of the whole project. This podcast is for everyone who wants to learn more about what AI music is, why we are doing the whole event, the whole AI Jazz music contest, and of course, one of the most important questions right now. Alex, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm Alex. Thank you, Dorota, for inviting. That's fascinating to have a podcast just in the middle of our weekly contest. Yeah, I've been into songwriting for maybe 25 years in some genres. I play myself several instruments, and I'm absolutely a protagonist and I would say the ambassador of AI music. So I have a long story of creating different music tracks with AI and even one rock opera. That was a big job that took me about maybe 6 months. So altogether. So it's not just a push button thing. And I'm happy to answer your tricky questions.
Okay, so let's go. I'll start first with, we are bringing AI Jazz to Montreux. Is this evolution or is surrender? And Montreux Jazz Festival, as we know, is turning 60 this year. And we're bringing AI Jazz to a stage right next door, actually at Riviera Cafe. And purists, it's gonna call it a betrayal, and we call it, the only one honest move. So who is right, who is not, we have to see, but is it a tradition or a future?
In chess, it's called a position.
Yeah.
So would you be shocked? Okay, hold fast, sit tight. Do you know that Montreux Jazz Festival was made by Claude?
No, I didn't.
You know
what do you mean by that?
Exactly. So here, Circle and Spiral, yeah? It was founded by the guy whose name was Claude Nobs. And actually, Montreux Jazz Festival happened, or mostly, not on the streets, but in the places that were not considered to be a concert hall. Because Swiss people, they were not sure if jazz music belonged to concert halls. So they played it outside. Yeah, in our era of AI, it's quite nice to say that Montreux Jazz Festival was created by Claude. And it is a fact. What I like is that he moved against the tradition. And what we are doing is also moving against the tradition. So we are not breaking the rules, we are following the rules. And that's what is all jazz about.
Yeah, totally. And that reminds me of one very major debate here in the music industry. Does AI belongs in jazz music? And the topic here is like, AI jazz is built on theft, isn't it? Is that true or not? Because every model learned basically from Coltrane, Davis, Monk without asking for that. So is it AI jazz a tribute? Does it belong in the music scene, or it's a grave robbery?
Coltrane. Did he invented jazz himself?
No.
Actually, if we say in modern terms about AI discussions, he stole everything from Charlie Parker and Coleman Hawkins, for example. We all use human heritage, this way or that way. And what AI is doing, he is just technologizing that. He's machinizing that. So we all learn from what is done before. So I don't think it's a set.
Yeah.
I think it's just the new variation and distillation of human experience.
I remember with one of the weekly winners, we were discussing that before it was auto-tune, it was not accepted from the major audience, for the majority of musicians, but now every other song is auto-tuned. And of course, same happening with AI. I indeed think that is just another tool in the hands of the humans, in the hands of talents. And which reminds me actually for the other topic, that behind every track there is a human, but how much human is enough? Is it 1% human, 50%? If you spend 4 hours prompting one track, you're more involved than half of the producers is any major label.
So here we are coming to a prompting question, yeah? The percentage of human is a trap question, for sure. So you cannot measure it like this. I would say that those people who make a 10-second prompt and then hit button creates and calling them composers, it is a big stretch. for sure. But if you spend a couple of days or 4 hours of trying different prompts, adding instruments, removing instruments, trying different bands, and making try after try until you get what you want. So actually creating AI music, it is 1/3 of the role of producer, yeah? And very often producer has never touched any instrument in his life. So he's just conducting the whole thing. Half of that is working with lyrics, for example, if we're talking about the songs with lyrics. And 1/3 of that also is about encounter. Because when you get the result from the machine, you are happy to admit it or not to admit, to modify or not to modify, put it in the trash bin or going with that further and further. So it's a process. And sometimes it reminds me of meeting the right people in your life. You cannot prompt people, right? You can
that makes sense.
I want to meet in this cafe, this kind of guy with a blonde hair, 160, 188 tall and sporty figure. Whatever. You cannot do this. You just go to the cafe and you get what you get. You like it or you don't like it. If you like it, you can work on it, probably. Get in contact, try to evolve, and so on. The same is with the AI tracks. When you create an AI track, you meet something. And it's half meeting, half creation. And that is actually what producer does. When the producer works with a band, or with a composer, or with a lyricist, or with a songwriter, the songwriter comes in, look, I have a new song. And this is an encounter. And that's what we do with AI machines, actually. So the more you prompt, the more you work, the more you switch tonalities, scales, and the more variety of answers you get. Sometimes you are stuck and you cannot do anything and say, okay, leave it for the next week, do another song or do another project, whatever. But very often the process is so fascinating that you are inside and you get, I think one of the tracks I was creating for the rock opera, it was 1,400 tracks generated before I got the result I was satisfied with.
Wow.
So
How long did it took you?
the whole opera?
Yes.
6 months.
Oh, wow.
And frankly speaking, it's not finished yet. So it's 80% of job is done.
Wow, yeah. But that reminds me of debate that is happening in the online space that prompting is not making music and AI music creators are not artists, or are there actually artists or just typists? The difference between traditional creation of music and how you create music with AI, because I see it in my eyes as a way of exploring creation, expressing your talent. What is your opinion on that?
Now, some platforms, they allow you to upload the melody. You can just play it yourself, upload it and orchestrate it the way you prefer and make a cover or master it this way and that way. And that is excellent, because what I like in the new cycle of involvement of generating machines, they allow you more and more human impact and human input itself. So now you can bring the melody to the system, you can put the lyrics in the system. Rarely I use the generated lyrics, almost never, because I can get there some ideas, but usually I write it all myself, because that is my thoughts and I want to transmit my thoughts. So prompting can be very human. It can be very specified. For example, we have one track on our radio, the jazz track itself, where we use the instrument that has never been used before in jazz. That is balalaika.
Yeah.
And nobody could imagine that you can play jazz with balalaika or with organ or with some Armenian duduk, for example. So mixing instruments, this prompting has so much freedom inside. So you can mix the things that have never been mixed and have never been tried. And that doesn't require to bring the guy from Armenia to go to the studio and the jazz guy from New York to have them play together. So you just try it, and if it works, you can leave it like this, or you can create a real band with us and a real recording. Because generating machines, they are also a very nice trial tool. You have the idea in your mind, you go there and you try how it sounds like if we mix this instrument with this instrument and with this genre of jazz. Jazz has a lot of improvisation inside. It's very personal. And I can say that generating machines do good at some point. But they definitely rely on the heritage of the great jazz players in the history.
And I have a small question here, actually, as a comment, because I checked yesterday, I think, one topic that AI is, in fact, starting to steal the jobs of musicians. I want to have a drummer or whatever, a guitarist to experiment with that song, but I don't have the money to bring him in, so I'm going to start experimenting with AI. So what do you think about that? Is actually AI going to take away the job of musicians, or it's going to expand that?
I would put it another way. AI is not stealing job from musicians. AI is stealing ears of listeners. That's a different way. You're a musician, make something better than AI can. You blame AI, he's stealing your job, make something better. I think it's a very nice period of real I cannot say competence, but it's a real time of real human competition. Yeah, so do better, because AI is mostly based on what was already done before. Make something better. Move the music history forward. Stop playing Smoke on the Water and all the variations of Smoke on the Water. Nobody's interested in that. AI can do it better than you. Do something new. And this is the challenge for all new musicians, in my opinion. Do something new. Move it forward. There'll always be a place for human music. But look at the chess. Now everybody knows that computer plays chess better than the best chess player, the human chess player. But people are still having championships and they still have their crowns, so it's all the same thing. Yeah. So I like this, that the music was stuck a little bit, I have the feeling, because before AI came, it was stuck because they were boiling in one bowl, more or less, the same. And there was no big involvement. And now it is, because AI is pushing musicians to create something newer, better, more fascinating, more involving, something revolutionary maybe, that I will never do.
Yeah, I can also tell that we are now starting to live in an age where the true unique voice of humans and the true unique storytelling of humans can come out.
Yeah, that's true. Because AI brings a lot of freedom now to people. And there are thousands of people who would like to express themselves in music way, but they didn't know how. And they create the prompt, they create lyrics, they make the music. They love what they get, because it's all is a matter of their tastes and their expectations and their vision. And very, very happy with the tracks. And if you look at this capsule itself, I am the author, I create a track, I am happy. That's what music does to people, make them happy.
Absolutely. But there is also one other big debate happening right now, which is the regulation of AI music. Because I heard a news that last month Deezer reported, so in late April 2026, that nearly 75,000 AI tracks are uploaded every day, and representing roughly 44% of the daily uploads on its platform. And we all know Spotify is also trying to label them, take them off the platform. Yeah, who creates the taste right now? The algorithm, the listener, who is the kind of the jury? And of course, what is the regulation here of distributing AI music?
So this is the question that is not resolved yet. And this is a big debt to society, from all parties who are involved, from music producers, from labels, from platforms, from the musicians itself, and from AI developers. There is no correct answer. So we are at the point where we are balancing and we are finding the right way. It is like, how to say, if you look backwards in the age where television started, when photography started, it was all the same, because the people of theater, the actors, they were battling against cinema sometimes. At the end of all, it's a battle for listeners and for their ears and for their souls. Definitely there will be a kind of a new setup, I think, this year or the next year, how it should sound about the right. Because if I can say so, there was a big platform that was acquired by a huge company, and then the creative work on this platform almost stopped, and everybody switched to another platform. That would happen when you bring hard regulations onto the creative freedom society.
Yeah. Maybe we're going to have the chance this year at Montreux in our event to debug these questions and to find the right answers to that.
We have all the chances to do that, at least to set the trend. Because where you can do it better than in Montreux?
Absolutely, in the heart of jazz.
True.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Alex. That was AI.LOVE.JAZZ podcast and debugging the major questions.
Thank you so much for inviting.
Thank you a lot. Bye-bye.
See you soon.